Okay, so it's been brought to my attention that some insight into how this Uranus thing and technology plays into the New World Order, how that is implemented can help us all on the channel. So, I want to begin by first saying, let's go to the infancy and the birthplace of the internet. See, Uranus rules over other things besides the internet, right? However, it's like the major component when you think about it. Technology overall, right? Anything robotic or electric, appliances and stuff like that. Uranus rules over those things. But if we're talking about discussions that are related to New World Order, I think the internet is a huge thing to bring up because it has given us a new way of connecting with each other. And Uranus also represents connectivity, the networking of groups of people, right? So it's a huge component of what is in play. So, on that note, let's look at the infancy of the internet. The internet was born, and Uranus rules over the internet, was born while Uranus was in the sign of Scorpio. All right, so whoever has Uranus and Scorpio generation, you are the generation where the internet was actually birthed. All right, this is one primary component, but another thing is Uranus is actually exalted inside of the sign of Scorpio. So this means this is the epitome of Uranus, not even in Aquarius where it's dignified, where it's home at, but it's in its full usage and advantage inside of the sign of Scorpio. So already you can understand. I know some of y'all are already adding your fear mongering factors in this now, and you're like, oh shit, we're done. We're fucking doomed. This is a wrap for us, right? But that's kind of some of the things that you think about when you think about Scorpio. But Scorpio is not all dark, y'all. It's not all bad. It means the ending of something for something new to begin, and that's part of the reason why Uranus is there. New world order, the new age. Something old and traditional has to go out in order for this new thing to come in. So something has to die, y'all. Something has to die. And again, so like I said, you could look at the beautiful thing about Scorpio, which is transformation. Transformation does not mean a literal death. It just means something has expired, right? Something is expiring for this new thing to be ushered in. And like I said, I've been saying this, the Aquarius age is here. Some people, I don't know if they still in denial or they're still living in the Piscean age. And, it takes some people slower than others. I get that. So I'm not even saying, hey, hurry up, rush the process. I think the Mayan calendar was exact. I think it struck then, and the clock struck 12 and it was on 2012. But that's my opinion. I digressed a little bit. Uranus is exalted inside of the sign of Scorpio. So this poses a question, at least for me it did, to say, okay, well, why? Why is not only is Uranus exalted there, but what does this mean in the bigger scheme of things? And what I've come to the conclusion, and not even to the conclusion, what I theorize is that, and you can relate this to religious texts of how this quest for eternal life has been like at the epicenter of religions and higher philosophies of life, right? For man to become immortal. So who better than to be on the job of ushering in something new to a generation of people in astrology for the past 2,500 years have adopted this selfless, go into the fire and sacrifice yourself Piscean age in the quest for this, okay, let's stay here forever, let's live forever thing, right? Who better to go at this than the sign Scorpio? That's how I see it, right? Because the actual death is also inside of, well, mostly really related to the eighth house, but it rules over Scorpio. So Scorpio in itself, the energy probably wants to investigate itself and say, okay, look, why does the human condition keep dying? What the fuck is this transformation, transformative, gotta eat yourself ideology come? Why does it have to be this way? Scorpio has to be driven mad by this. Like when I study astrology and I get to the eighth house, this is when I start actually feeling for Scorpio, because I'm like, damn, this 12 houses, why does everything seems like it have to end at the eighth house, right? And this turmoil, this level of extremity and intensity is at this house, this build up, and the heroism, because Scorpio is a heroic sign, in case you didn't know. But the heroism, I'm butchering that pronunciation, right? Is there as well, because it's part of the transformation through the actual human body, right? Eighth house is life after marriage, so you elope with someone and you smother them. Joke, Scorpio, but you smother them, you know what I mean? And you engulf yourself in them to the point where you replicate yourself, or you come up with a new DNA, right? However, the predecessor still ages and withers to the point of disintegration, which is a sad thing, right? People call it beautiful because that's the best way to get over it. You have memories of people who passed on and you're like, that was a good life, it was a great life, this is part of the process. But in the back of people's minds, they know that it would be nice to have those people still around, and it would be nice for you to stick around as well, right? However, what we've known in this past 2,500 years is that it's just not possible. So here comes this new technology thing that is now enabling humanity to live longer than it's been before. And we know, and also in religious texts, that humanity has lived for hundreds of years at a time before. Obviously, this was at a time that was when there wasn't so much, I guess you could say, harmful things on this planet as well, especially people, right? So when you look at the currencies and stuff like that, right, if we got taken off the gold standard, it's like now we're at a point where we've went over the limit, the capacity, if you will, to actually be pegged to gold. So what that means is humanity is inflated in the eyes of those who strongly believe and have hands in writing this religious text that says, okay, in the end times, this is going to happen, and only this amount of people are going to be left around. Y'all get where I'm going with this, right? So it's like, okay, what they're trying to say is a lot of people have to get wiped out. And going back to this whole currency pegging humanity to gold, it's like there's supposed to be an allocation for a certain amount of us to be here for that gold, because for some reason this earth planet is a mining facility for gold, right? So we've extended past that. So what has happened though is we kept going, right? As humanity, we kept going. We're using these paper notes, we're using debt, we're using different forms of currency now. We spoke about moon being related to silver, spoke about Venus currency, and we now are speaking about Uranus currency. So this is what I theorize, is that the people who don't prepare for this type of thing have more to be concerned about, because they're not actually researching technology. They're not figuring out, or even the people who engineer it and build it. If you were to know those types of things, you'd be better armed to be one of those 144,000 that remain, should we subscribe to this ideology, right? And if not, you can imagine what is in store for us now. Another reason why I did this video is because we can all relate to Uranus being in the sign of Taurus, all of us. I don't have to do one-on-ones and personals to explain this. We all are relating to Uranus inside of Taurus right now. And an indicator of how this technology can be used for an actual literal death and for a transformation to bring things anew is this coronavirus. because as you can see, it has took the lives of some, and some still remain, right? There's been rumors that there's more to come. This is only the beginning. But you can expect something like that as well, because this is what I'm saying in this video, right? Um, so some people have a natural disposition of where they lucked up with Uranus being inside of Scorpio when they were born. So they're already investigative of these things, and you guys and gals probably have the most information about this stuff. It's probably going to be an essential component of the rest of your life, because you're going to want to put your people on and take care of your people in the best way possible, because you know something like this exists. Also, take this into consideration that some of these corporations are, if not the same as government, more to blame than government, if government should be blamed at all when it comes to some of these inventions, because it's corporations who educate themselves on the technology and then build their corporation off of the appliances or whatever is being utilized. So think about it. It's just like the movies. You see those mad, but in the movies it's more along the lines of government, right? MI6 is always doing something, but it's these. You'll see some movies to where the corporations, they're doing like, Erin Brockovich type shit, and then next thing you know, they're dumping chemicals in the water next to where you live at, right? And they're doing it because they're making money. So you can see the change and the shift in the relationship between big business and government with this virus as well, because some businesses are being shut down. I can imagine 20 to 30 years ago, businesses would not go out with a fight. Like, they'll probably be fighting the law and everything, talking about, you can't shut down my business. How is I going to eat and take care of my family, But now government has a type of power that says, no, the people must be protected until we figure out exactly what's going on, because a lot of speculation is saying that the government began this, but it could just really be some Lex Luthor motherfucker in the fucking train station who created this shit and is doing what they're doing because they have a lot of power, money, and influence, right? Or they might not even be known, so you can't even figure out who these people are. They just have a hell of an education and know how to use this stuff for destructive purposes. Now, before I end this, I want to say that for all of us, Uranus and the Sun, remember I told y'all prior to this to watch your nutrients, because Taurus rules the throat. So however you consume your nutrients is how technology is going to have an impact on you. And look what happened with some of these stories that are popping up all over the place. They're saying it's either you stock up on food, right? The most number one consumed commodity now is food. Everyone's filling up their refrigerators and cabinets, and it does not necessarily mean to eat more, but it's just people are fearing the inability to be able to be mobile because of this. So, but food is a factor. You see what I'm saying? And not only that, when you think about your own diet, do you get this is 2,000 calories a day or a week, or however, you know what I'm talking about. Do you usually get that, or are you undernourished? Because now people are thinking about that. Am I eating the right things? Do I have enough? Am I undernourished? I might not be physically fit. You know what I'm saying? Some people think that they're not physically fit to withstand whatever this thing is. And technology has something to do with it. Like, I know, authorities may not want me to speak like this because it can be disinformation, but I'm telling y'all, technology has a play in it, because I'm looking at it astrologically. I have not done scientific research to figure it out. Or put it this way, I haven't measured it to concretely say scientifically that it is. I look at astrology and I can tell you from the giddy up, just like I told you when Uranus was in Aries, that technology is going to have an impact on the human anatomy once it enters Taurus, because Taurus rules over the five senses and the self, right? That is regulated by Earth. So for all of us, Taurus is in different different houses. So whatever house it falls in for you is where the expressions of the correlation of Uranus and Taurus is going to result and govern in your lives. So count from your sun sign as your first house over to Taurus, so you can find out what house Taurus is for you, and then you can look to see where it will govern your life. Get in the comment section.